I welcome you to my channel. Subscribe and listen to my new stories every day. The dim light of early morning barely touches the edges of my bedroom window. I'm already awake, lying beside Julia, my wife. She's lost in dreams, her breaths rhythmic and serene. I watch her, my heart heavy with the knowledge of what I'm about to do. This morning isn't just about me giving her a gift, it's about unveiling a truth that has gnawed at my soul. I slide out of bed, careful not to disturb her. I make my way to the living room where I've stashed the small, ornate box. It's filled with a collection of fine jewelry, something I hoped would be a pleasant surprise for her. But this morning, the note that accompanies the box is not a sweet sentiment. It reads, "From my lover." It's a plan crafted out of desperation and hurt, a scheme to reveal the secrets Julia has hidden behind a facade of marital bliss. I grab the box and head out the door. The office is where she spends most of her time, and today it's where I'll leave my gift. It's just past 7, and the office will be quiet, a perfect setting for my little act of deception. I arrive at Julia's office building. The lobby is bustling with early commuters, their conversations a low murmur against the clacking of heels on polished floors. I slip past the receptionist, nodding curtly as I enter the elevator. I hit the button for the top floor where Julia's office is located. The corridor is eerily silent as I walk to her office. I open the door, carefully placing the box on her desk. The note, tucked neatly inside, is barely visible. I take one last look, ensuring everything is just as I planned. Then, I slip out of the office and find a spot behind a nearby pillar, my heart pounding with a mixture of anticipation and dread. Minutes tick by slowly. I glance at my watch, trying to gauge her arrival. At last, the sound of her footsteps echoes in the hallway. I hold my breath, watching as she enters her office. Julia's eyes catch the box immediately. She approaches with a curious smile, her fingers reaching for the note. She reads it, her eyebrows knitting together in confusion. Then, a smile spreads across her face, one I haven't seen in a long time. It's a genuine, joyous smile, and it's not directed at me. She picks up her phone and dials a number, her voice a melodic whisper. "Good morning, James," she says. "You really outdid yourself this time. Thank you so much for the beautiful gift." My heart sinks as I hear the name, James. It's her boss. The realization crashes over me like a wave. She's been seeing him behind my back, a betrayal sharper than any knife. I clench my fists, struggling to stay hidden. Her laughter, bright and free, only deepens the wound. Julia ends the call and sits down, admiring the jewelry. Her fingers trace over the delicate pieces, her expression one of utter contentment. It's a cruel irony, she's enjoying something meant to expose her. The rage that surges through me is almost overwhelming. I have to remind myself to breathe, to think. This isn't just about pain, it's about justice. I need to plan my next move carefully. I leave the office building with a newfound resolve. My heart is heavy, but my mind is clear. The betrayal has ignited a fire within me, a determination to reclaim my pride and dismantle the life Julia has so casually shattered. This is only the beginning. The real work, my revenge, has yet to come. As I drive home, the plan starts to form in my mind. I'll need evidence, strategy, and precision. Julia's betrayal won't go unanswered. It's not just about ending our marriage, it's about making sure she understands the cost of her deceit. The road stretches before me, a symbol of the path I'm about to walk. I'm ready to embrace the role of avenger, to orchestrate a series of events that will restore my dignity and unravel the life Julia has built on lies. I glance at the empty passenger seat beside me, and I can't help but think that this journey is one I must take alone. The days following my discovery are a blur of anger and cold, calculated planning. Julia's new world, one that I'm now painfully aware of, is like a house of cards waiting to collapse. I need to act with precision, to dismantle the facade she's built with James. The sight of her delight over that jewelry has fueled a resolve in me that won't be easily extinguished. By the time I get home, I've already made a decision. I can't let this go without consequence. My first step is to gather information. I need to understand the full extent of Julia's betrayal. I know that James's role is crucial here, and I need to learn as much as possible about their relationship. I sit at my desk, scrolling through my contacts list. I need help, someone who can gather intel and provide insight into Julia's daily routine without raising suspicion. I call Derek, an old college friend who runs a private investigation firm. It's been years since we last spoke, but I know his skills are unmatched. "Derek, it's Michael," I say when he picks up. "I need a favor." "Michael, long time no talk," Derek replies, his voice warm but cautious. "What's going on?" "I've got a situation," I explain, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. "My wife has been having an affair with her boss, and I need to find out more about their relationship. I want to understand how deep this goes." There's a pause on the other end of the line. "That's a heavy request. Are you sure about this?" "Absolutely," I reply. "I need to know the full story before I make my next move." "All right," Derek says, his tone shifting to business. "Give me a day or two. I'll gather the information you need." With that settled, I turn my attention to other preparations. I need to collect evidence, photographs, documents, anything that will support my case. I also need to make sure that when I reveal the truth, it's in a way that leaves no room for denial. The next day, I'm at Julia's office, pretending to be a part of the ordinary routine. I've managed to get access to the building under the pretense of dropping off some personal items. I find a secluded spot near Julia's desk, where I can observe without being noticed. Julia and James are in a meeting, their voices barely audible through the closed door. I overhear snippets of their conversation, plans for a weekend getaway, discussions about their future together. Each word stings like a needle, but I keep my focus, taking mental notes. Suddenly, the door opens, and Julia steps out, her expression a mixture of satisfaction and anticipation. She doesn't notice me as she walks past, absorbed in her own thoughts. I seize the moment, slipping into her office and quickly taking photographs of the desk, her computer screen, and any documents that might indicate their secret meetings. As I'm about to leave, I hear footsteps approaching. My heart races, and I duck behind a potted plant. The door opens, and James enters, carrying a briefcase. He sets it on Julia's desk and starts rifling through it, unaware of my presence. I hold my breath, my mind racing. This is a crucial moment. If I can get a glimpse of what's inside the briefcase, it might provide the evidence I need. But the briefcase is locked. James doesn't seem to notice me, so I take another quick look around, hoping for anything useful. Just as I'm about to leave, James's phone buzzes. He glances at it, his face softening. "Can't wait to see you tonight," he says into the phone, his voice low and intimate. "I've got something special planned." I manage to snap a quick photo of him with his phone, capturing the intimate exchange. The sound of Julia's return makes me freeze, and I quickly slip out of the office, my heart pounding with the thrill of the chase. I meet Derek later that evening at a local cafe. He slides into the seat across from me, his expression serious. "Got the information you wanted," he says, pulling out a folder from his bag. It's not pretty. I open the folder, finding detailed records of Julia's interactions with James, meeting times, hotel bookings, and personal messages. Each piece of evidence is like a dagger, confirming the extent of their betrayal. "This is just the start," Derek says. "You need to be careful. Revenge is a dangerous game." "I know," I reply, my voice steady. "But I need to make sure Julia and James face the consequences of their actions. This isn't just about me, it's about making things right." Derek nods, understanding the gravity of the situation. "I'll be here if you need more help." Just remember to think through each step carefully. As I leave the cafe, the weight of my plan settles on my shoulders. I'm no longer just a betrayed husband, I'm a man with a mission. The evidence is in my hands, and the next phase of my plan is about to unfold. Julia and James may have thought they were untouchable, but their world is about to change. The path to retribution is fraught with danger, but I'm ready. Each step I take from now on will be calculated, precise, and purposeful. This is only the beginning, and I'm determined to see it through to the end. The days blend together as I piece together my plan for revenge. Julia and James have woven a web of deceit, and it's my turn to untangle their lies. I've gathered enough evidence to expose their affair, but I need a strategy that will hit them where it hurts the most, publicly and personally. Tonight, I'm meeting with Derek again. This time, it's not just about gathering information, it's about setting the stage for the fallout. We meet at a dimly lit bar, a place where the chatter of conversations creates a perfect backdrop for our discussion. Michael, Derek greets me, sliding into the booth with a folder in hand. Ready for the next step? Absolutely, I reply, my eyes locked on the folder. I've got the evidence, but I need your help to orchestrate the reveal. I want this to be something Julia and James can't ignore. Derek nods, opening the folder and spreading out photographs, text messages, and documents. We need to think about how to present this. It's not just about showing them what's happened, it's about making sure they face the consequences. I study the evidence. I want to expose this at a company event, a big one. It'll ensure maximum impact. Julia and James won't be able to brush this aside. Derek raises an eyebrow. A public reveal? That's risky. You're sure about this? Yes, I say firmly. They need to understand the full weight of their actions. A public humiliation will drive the point home. All right, Derek agrees. I can help with that. I'll arrange for someone to leak the information to the media, ensuring it gets the attention it deserves. We finalize the details of our plan. Derek will handle the media, ensuring that the evidence is disseminated widely. Meanwhile, I need to set up a way to present the evidence to Julia and James directly, ensuring they see it before it hits the public eye. The following day, I put my plan into action. I attend a company event, knowing that Julia and James will be there. It's a gala, filled with high-profile guests and the kind of environment where secrets can easily become public spectacle. I mingle among the crowd, playing the part of an inconspicuous guest. As the evening progresses, I spot Julia and James across the room, engaged in conversation. They look comfortable, their interactions intimate. The sight fuels my determination. I make my way to the event organizer, slipping him a note and a USB drive. This is crucial, I say in a low voice. Make sure this is shown during the speeches later tonight. The organizer's eyes widen as he takes the USB drive. What's this about? Just a surprise for some people who think they're untouchable, I reply, a hint of satisfaction in my voice. As the speeches begin, I position myself near the front, my heart pounding with anticipation. The organizer nods at me, indicating that the USB drive has been loaded and is ready to be played. The room quiets as the main speaker starts, but the mood shifts when the projector flickers to life. The screen displays images of Julia and James, their intimate moments captured in photographs and video clips. The room erupts in gasps and murmurs as the evidence of their affair is laid bare. Julia's face pales as she recognizes the images. James, too, looks stunned, his mouth hanging open in disbelief. The shockwaves of the reveal ripple through the crowd. I watch from a distance, my emotions a mix of satisfaction and sorrow. Julia turns to James, her eyes wide with panic. "What's going on?" she hisses, her voice barely audible. James's expression is a mix of anger and fear. "I don't know. This isn't supposed to happen." The crowd's reaction is a blend of curiosity and judgment. Whispers fill the room as people take out their phones, capturing the spectacle. The humiliation is palpable, and Julia and James are at the center of it all. I approach them, my demeanor calm but resolute. "Julia," I say, catching her eye. "Looks like your little secret's out. How does it feel to be on the other side of betrayal?" Julia's eyes meet mine, filled with a mix of anger and regret. "Michael, No need for explanations," I cut in. "The damage is done. This is just the beginning." I turn and walk away, leaving them to face the fallout. The event turns into a frenzy of gossip and speculation. Julia and James are left to deal with the public humiliation and the fallout of their actions. As I leave the gala, a sense of closure washes over me. The path to retribution has been set in motion, and Julia and James will now face the consequences of their betrayal. The public exposure was just one part of the plan, but it's a significant step toward unraveling their lives. The next phase will require more precision, but for now, I take solace in knowing that the truth is out and their world is starting to crumble. The intrigue of their downfall is only beginning, and I'm ready for whatever comes next. The aftermath of the gala is a storm of chaos. Julia and James are thrust into the spotlight, their affair the subject of relentless scrutiny. My plan, though executed flawlessly, has only scratched the surface of the devastation I aim to inflict. This is the final act of my retribution, a chance to ensure that Julia and James understand the full weight of their betrayal. Weeks have passed since the public reveal, and the impact on Julia and James's lives has been profound. Julia has lost her position at the company, and James is facing severe backlash from his colleagues. But for me, this isn't enough. I need to ensure that they are completely dismantled, not just in the public eye but in their personal lives as well. I've spent the past few weeks meticulously planning the final phase of my revenge. It involves not just exposing their betrayal further but ensuring that their lives are irrevocably altered. I've secured incriminating evidence of financial misconduct linked to James, using it to fuel the last part of my plan. Tonight, I'm prepared for the final confrontation. I've arranged a private meeting with Julia and James, under the guise of discussing a potential settlement for the damage caused. They've agreed, thinking that they can negotiate their way out of this mess. Little do they know that this meeting will be their undoing. The setting is a secluded restaurant, chosen for its discretion and privacy. Julia and James arrive, their expressions tense and guarded. They take their seats at a table set up in a private corner, unaware of the true nature of this meeting. "Michael," Julia says, her voice strained as she greets me. "I'm glad we could finally talk. I hope we can resolve this matter." "I'm sure you do," I reply, my tone cold and unyielding. "But this isn't about resolution. It's about ensuring that you and James face the full consequences of your actions." Julia's eyes narrow with suspicion. "What are you talking about?" I don't respond immediately. Instead, I reach into my bag and pull out a folder, placing it on the table. "This," I say, "is the final piece of evidence. It details James's embezzlement activities, evidence that will destroy both his career and his reputation." James's face turns pale as he scans the documents. "You can't be serious," he says, his voice trembling. "That's a serious accusation." "It's all documented," I say. "And I've made sure it's in the right hands. Your downfall is inevitable." Julia's anger flares. "You've gone too far, Michael. This is not about just us anymore. You're ruining lives. Lives that you've already shattered," I retort. "You and James have no right to complain about the consequences." The tension in the room is palpable. Julia and James exchange desperate looks, their facade of control crumbling. I can see the fear in their eyes, and it's a gratifying sight. But this is only the beginning. I've also arranged for a press conference tomorrow, I continue. The media will get all the details of James's financial misconduct. This will ensure that no corner of your life remains untouched. Julia slams her hand on the table. You're a monster. That may be, I say, but I'm also someone who values loyalty and integrity. Something you two clearly lack. The finality of my words hits them hard. Julia stands up abruptly, her chair scraping against the floor. I'm done with this, she says, her voice filled with venom. You've destroyed everything. There's nothing left for me here. James stands beside her, his face a mask of defeat. We're leaving, he says, his voice barely a whisper. They turn and walk out of the restaurant, leaving behind a trail of shattered pride and broken promises. I watch them go, a sense of grim satisfaction settling over me. Their departure marks the end of this chapter of my life. As I leave the restaurant, I know that I've achieved what I set out to do. Julia and James's lives are in disarray, their reputations in ruins. The betrayal they inflicted has come full circle, and they've been forced to confront the consequences of their actions. The final act of retribution has been harsh, but it was necessary. The pain they caused demanded a response, and I've ensured that their punishment is as severe as their betrayal. As I drive away, the weight of the past few months settles on my shoulders. The road ahead is clear, and I'm ready to move forward, free from the shadows of deception and betrayal. The final chapter of this story is closed, and I'm left with the certainty that justice has been served.